Welcome back. This week's episode of Quick Bits is covering May 15th to May 19th, 2023. A lot happened this week in the Idaho University murders and in the Murdaugh case, and that is most of what I covered, plus a few interesting stories that I think you might want to stay in the loop on. So let's get into today's Quick Bits. I'm legal analyst Emily D. Baker. This is the Quick Bits, where I break down just the main points of the pop culture and entertainment cases I'm currently covering on YouTube and the Emily Show podcast. Let's get into it. First thing is exciting news this week for me and for the law nerds, but my collaboration with Gerard Cosmetics is live. So if you want to get your Allegations and Shade lip gloss set, you can do that now. All the links will be down below. So don't forget to go get this set. The boxes are limited, but the lip glosses are forever. Go get your objection, hearsay, and facts now. First, the quickest bits. Elizabeth Holmes is finally going to prison. She had a last-ditch appeal to the Ninth Circuit to stay out of custody while her appeal was pending. That last effort has been denied, and she has been ordered to turn herself in by May 30th at 2 p.m. So it looks like it is really the end of the road for Elizabeth Holmes, and she will be going to prison. Remember, she was indicted back in June 2018 and convicted at the very beginning of 2022. So now that we are almost halfway through 2023, she is going into custody. I also covered the Chippendales intellectual property lawsuit. This is a very interesting suit, and I didn't realize there was such a sordid history with the Chippendales properties. But this lawsuit is from the current owners of Chippendales and all of their intellectual property, the name, the trademarks, and all the rest of it, saying that the supposed heir of Chippendales, the son of the original founder, is interfering with their intellectual property and using it. The supposed heir of Chippendales is saying that this property was never sold, and the plaintiffs in the case are saying that actually it was given to the seller during divorce proceedings. It's a very interesting case, but the thing that we learned from all of this is that Vinny from Jersey Shore is back at Chippendales in Vegas starting in August. So if you want to check that out, I had no idea that he was performing with Chippendales. But now we know. I just think of Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze. In Idaho, there are multiple things happening. The biggest thing that happened this week was the indictment, and I had an emergency quick bits. An emergency super quick bits that I will link for you down below that covered the indictment and what it means. Bryan Kohberger was indicted by grand jury on all 4 counts of murder, 1 for each of the victims, and on burglary for entering the house. This indictment means that the preliminary hearing that was set for the end of June will not happen. He will be arraigned on Monday, May 22nd. There's also a hearing set that day to schedule the arguments and the motion hearing for the gag order. We will see if the new judge issues a gag order, because this case is now moved from the judge who had it before the preliminary hearing to the next judge. The indictment means that in this case, probable cause has been determined by grand jury, and it now moves forward to trial. In Idaho, if Bryan Kohberger does not waive his right to speedy trial, this must go to trial within 6 months. Of course, Bryan Kohberger could waive that right, and it can take longer. We know that there's over 51 terabytes of discovery that's been turned over, and I talked about all of those discovery motions on my stream on Tuesday. I also talked more about the argument over the gag order, and we will see that get scheduled and then be heard in court. However, now that that court does not have authority over this case, if the new judge doesn't issue a gag order, because it now is under the new court, Judge. Yes, his name is John Judge. Judge John Judge. I'm not joking. If he doesn't issue a gag order, the whole thing might be moot, because there's really no remedy for the gag order that was in place in the past. Also, there is an answer in the TikTok defamation case. The TikToker changed their previous answer in some ways, but not in all of them, and added a bunch of new cross complaints against the professor that the TikToker has accused of committing these crimes. It's a very interesting case. It is unlike anything I've ever seen, but when people represent themselves, that is often the case. I covered everything going on with Alex Murdaugh on the Emily Show podcast this week, talking about both the insurance case going on and the Gloria Satterfield settlement, because those are the two fronts that have really been heating up. And then on May 16th, after I recorded the podcast, Alex's attorneys dropped this bombshell motion that absolutely still has me flabbergasted. Alec Murdaugh's attorneys are trying to have the court vacate or set aside or yeet Alec Murdaugh's confession of judgment, saying that Alec Murdaugh's judgment in the Satterfield case, meaning Alec Murdaugh said, yes, I'm liable in the Satterfield case, where the Satterfield sons sued him for malpractice, breach of fiduciary duty, and other things. He said, yes, I'm responsible here, though he never stated the specific grounds. And then he also confessed judgment for over $4 million. He is asking the court to remove it, blaming the Satterfield's attorney, Eric Bland, for, quote, other misconduct, and stating that those are the grounds that he wants the confession of judgment to be vacated. This is connected, though separate and aside, to the insurance case, where the insurance company Nautilus is suing Alec Murdaugh for the over $3 million that they paid in the Satterfield case that Alec Murdaugh then stole. The money never made it to the Satterfield sons. Alec Murdaugh is saying that that was insurance fraud. He lied about the cause of Gloria Satterfield's death, and that's why the insurance company should bring in the Satterfield sons and their attorneys, Bland Richter. It feels oddly personal. I don't know the end game here for Alec Murdaugh to try to vacate this confession of judgment. Is it to continue to make the Satterfields sue him, make them take him to trial? He doesn't seem to have any money, and he certainly has nothing but time. And maybe that's the goal here, is to just keep this litigation going. But I was very surprised to see that motion to vacate the confession of judgment. The insurance case is going to continue on. The real question that remains for me now is, are we going to see this all charged as insurance fraud as well? And could there be more criminal charges coming based on Alec Murdaugh stating in legal pleadings signed under penalty of perjury that he lied about the cause of Gloria Satterfield's fall? It wasn't, in fact, the dogs. He's saying that Gloria Satterfield, quote, fainted, and that was determined by insurance adjusters, though I have not seen that in the pleadings that they've put forth so far. What I do know for certain is that we are a long way from done with Murdaugh, because they're going to be filing their appeal in the criminal case, and I will be covering that too. Lots to come on Monday in Idaho to see what happens next and when this case gets set for trial. More to come in Murdaugh, I'm sure, but lots to catch up on in other cases, so you're just going to have to check out my live stream channel for that. Thanks for hanging with me for another one, and I hope that the quick bits were helpful. Let me know your questions down below, and I will be answering them on live streams or in the comments. You know I love your comments. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. For deep dives into the stories that I covered here, you can find them on my YouTube channel at The Emily D. Baker and The Emily Show podcast. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. The podcast goes live on Wednesdays. And if you want more Law Nerd community, come join us at lawnerdsunite.com.